I'm going to take my slightly curved pliers and we're going to start actually pulling away all this bright red meat. And of course, if you've shot this animal with a shotgun, you're going to be pulling out a number of pellets as well. Okay. Now the head area itself doesn't actually contain a lot of fat, so it's not crucial to get every tiny morsel of meat and membranes and things off the head. As long as there's no fat, that's the most important thing. So if you leave a fair bit of meat off, then that's going to be fine. It is extremely difficult to get all of the meat off. It's particularly well adhered to the skin of the fox around the head region. There's no real shortcut around this. You simply have to go around the whole of the animal, just pulling off the meat piece by piece. It is quite important to get most or as much of the meat and sinews and fat away from the ears, because you are going to have to work on the ears to get them to come up nicely in the fur. So you're really going to have to clean around the edges of those cut ears. Okay. Okay, those ears are looking not too bad now. So I'm not going to spend too much more time on them. Okay, let's... Now, normally if this fox head were intact, I'd have to peel away a lot of the meat and muscle from this temple region of the fox, which obviously is missing with this. So I'm just going to clean up this side of the lower jaw. Okay. Now in my furs, I don't actually include the lower jaw, so the simplest way is simply to remove them. I'm just going to try and cut them straight along the side of the top jaw, nice and parallel. Just cut off those bottom jaw cheeks, like so. Okay. Okay, so we're starting to get into some of the bigger pieces of meat. They should come off reasonably easy. And some of the bigger dogs in particular, they could be huge. But it really has to be done. It's got to be removed. And ideally, what you want to get is this clear region here, where there is no meat, no fat, and you've got this greyish, whitish sort of skin surface. That's ideally what you want to produce over the whole fox skin before you put it actually into the tanning bath. Okay, so at this point we've removed most of the more solid pieces of fat and meat, and it's very tempting at this point to say, well, the skin looks pretty good, I reckon it's right to go into the tanning solution, but in fact there's still quite a bit of work to do, and I want to explain to you exactly why it's important to persevere and get rid of the rest of the fat and the sinews and membranes, etc. So so here we have two examples of fox skins that I've tanned. The one on your left is one where I didn't take the trouble to remove as much of the fat and sinews and membranes as I could have, whereas the one on your right is one that I've completely stripped of all of the fat and membranes, and we're left with a nice, dry, soft feeling skin, very much like leather, whereas this one is quite greasy. You can see that it's very discoloured, and it's probably only going to get worse. It does attract a lot of dirt and dust which will stick to the greasy skin. I've definitely learned that it's worth going to the trouble to remove all of the material as you can, so that you can get the cleanest, driest, smoothest surface possible. So now I'm going to show you. Okay, so we're back with our original raw skin, and now I'm going to show you how to remove all the rest of the crap, all the fat, membranes, meat, whatever is left on the skin. It's all going to come off. I'm using a hunting knife. It's a Bear Grylls knife, as you can see. Thanks to my brother for providing me with that for my birthday. But I will say this, it's nice and strong, and it's got a good blade, and it will allow you to scrape away anything that you need to. So we're going to start up around the shoulder region, and there's really no way around it. You've really just got to get in there and scrape. It's important to put your skin at this point onto a soft surface like a towel, something that can absorb impact. If you do it on a very hard surface, you're likely to actually tear the skin because it is relatively soft. So anyway, you just want to get in there and scrape away, and you'll immediately start seeing all this fat and grease and membranes all scraping off. Okay, so this is the crap that you need to get rid of. This is all the soft fat that is underlying the membranes that you can see here on the skin. So you're going to need a towel, wipe that off, and then get back into it. Now if you do it properly, you'll notice the skin will start to appear almost dry. That's because you're removing all that underlying fat that sits just below the actual skin itself. Okay, we've just about got rid of it all now. So that is what you are aiming to get rid of.